Welcome back to Texas Cable News. The Gadget Guy is here to put stuff all over our set. We have so many wires and computers.
We might explode.
He's also strip lines for you.
Very good. He's also here to take your computer and technology questions. So fire away at 1-877-977-TXCN, if you would.
So we're going to get to the cool gadget coming up, but first we're going to talk about travel websites, beginning with Expedia. I know they just made some money, so does this mean they're doing something right?
I know you're getting ready for spring break. I know you're going to take a week off,
travel plans to make.
Party. How do you travel is one of the few things that works on the internet. Auctions work and travel. They're the only things that have been profitable, like Expedia, like you just said here. But there's so many sites. There's Trip.com, Expedia, Orbitz. How do you know where to go?
Yeah, I have
do they
no
have
idea.
Specific specialties, some better at some things than others?
They all have little hot buttons, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about 4 of the different travel sites and which ones are the greatest at what.
So, okay, Expedia.
First one, now this is Microsoft. This is the granddaddy. This is Mr. Moneybags created the travel site because he wanted to get into the services.
Because he can.
That's exactly right. And some of the benefits of Expedia are that there's decent flights, and they're easy to change too. If you book a flight and you originally want to try Monday and you see that Monday might be too expensive, it's really easy to go to Tuesday and then rebook or reprice the flight to make sure it's what you want to do. They also have something I really like, which is the hotel finder with photos. This way you know that you're getting, as Michael would search, cheapest rate. Yeah. He knows he's getting the trashiest hotel on the block.
Fleabag.com.
That's right, that's right.
Another travel site.
And they have everything at the site, cars, etc. Now what's unique about Expedia is a year ago, it was the summer of 2001, the airline said, we're no longer going to pay you your 5% commissions on travel. So everybody went up in arms. How are we going to make all the money? And they went to a fixed $5 or $10 fee per ticket. Well, Expedia renegotiated rates with all the airlines. They had enough clout.
Because they can.
That's right. So you'll pay a little bit more for the flights there, which we'll find out in a second. But the good news is you don't have a service fee, which you'll see some of the other sites.
Next one is Trip.com.
Yeah, Trip.com was just bought by Cendant, which is a large owner of hotels. And what's nice about them is you can see other times at the same price. So if you like a price, but you don't like the time that the computer gave you, you can kind of rematch it. Now this hotel finder offers vacation rentals as well. So if you want to have a little cottage on the beach, you can find it here at Trip. And then the car has a large selection, but what I don't like is one destination. You can only pick it up and return it at the same place. And sometimes, like when I fly to San Francisco, I might fly into San Jose and out of SFO. And you cannot do that when you're booking the cars with this.
Orbitz. It seems like every website I go to now has an Orbitz pop-up
banner. They were the last to the game, but they have the most clout because they're owned by the top 5 airlines. So they've got all the money these days. This, again, has decent flights. They're real easy to change. What I like about this one is it'll show you how many stops. So if you want to save $100 but have a layover, you can go on a one-stop trip instead of a direct flight. Now this does the multi-city cars, which I like. So you can pick it up one place and drop it off in another. The service fee is not too bad. It's $5. And they have a travel watch feature which lets you talk about snow stalling, O'Hare flights. So right at the Orbitz.com website, you can find out about...
And since you're dealing with the airlines, they've got all the info.
They've got that data, that's right. Another one, Travelocity. Now this is another big one for the Texas people because Sabre created all of the reservation systems that all the airlines have been using except Southwest, and they wanted to get in the game too, and they started a few years ago with this Travelocity.com. And what I like about them is they can search nearby airports. So if you need to get to San Francisco, you might have a special fare going into San Jose or Sacramento. And then going to Sacramento might save you $100. And if you don't mind driving the 90 minutes or however long it is, you can go ahead and take that. So I thought that was a neat feature as well.
Okay, when we're talking searching for ways to travel on the internet, you always hear about the Priceline.coms and the bargaining, and how does all that work?
There's 2 of these new travel sites. One of them is Priceline, which is name your price. So if you always go to, it really helps to know what the going rate is. Like I know how much it costs to get to Vegas because of my gambling problem. And so if I know it's going to cost me about $250 using a traditional airline, if I can say, I'll book for $180, will you accept it? Priceline comes back 30 minutes to an hour later, and they'll say whether they accept that price or not. What I hate about this is it doesn't let you set the time you want to travel. And since I have a job, I need to know that I can leave Friday at 5 o'clock when I'm off work, as most people do. The other site's Hotwire. Hotwire is like a time bomb, or it's a stopwatch pricing. So you pick the flight, and now you can see the price, but you only have an hour to accept that rate. And so
the pressure.
Not sure time bomb is the phrase you want to link to airlines.
That's true. That's true. Let's call it stopwatch pricing.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to just go straight through the airline sites?
I am
Good question.
You are just so great at this. Absolutely it is, because my tips for travel are use a site like Trip or Orbitz or Expedia, which actually I would, as you're going to see in a minute here, we're going to stay away from Expedia, but use Orbitz is what I used to do, and then book them directly with the airlines. If you book directly, you get bonus mileage. The airlines don't pay the commission or the service fee that some of these had $10, some had $5 fees, so you can eliminate those fees. And actually I did this. I booked a flight on all 4 of these engines, and booked a flight also to American Airlines, and it was Expedia, $427 because of this negotiated bonus. Orbitz, this really was strange to me because of the 5 top airlines. You think they'd have the best prices. At $427, you see all the other search engines, Trip, Travelocity, $345. American Direct is $345 as well. Now, since I don't have an additional, what's that, about $1,500 worth of tickets, since I don't have that lying around, I did not complete the checkout entirely. I just got to the point where it gave me the pricing. But they could have charged at Trip.com and Travelocity maybe $10 to book those flights.
So the moral of the story is maybe start with an Expedia or an Orbitz and then go to the...
That's exactly it. Start with one of the engines you know, and then you can go to the airline site directly. Always sign up for frequent flyer numbers. And most of them now, if you try and book flights online, you have to do that even before you